Welcome to another show Sunday. Today we watched Sailor Moon, which actually none of us have really watched technically.
Not to the extent of where one can say that they've watched it, because I've probably watched it the most, but I did not watch it necessarily in sequence, and two, I caught very weird episodes like throughout the first, I think, two original dub seasons, and among those was like about the quote-unquote cousins who did not appear. In fact, none of the other characters appeared except Usagi, Luna, and Tuxedo Mask, whose real name was not revealed yet.
Yeah, and I haven't. Again, I of course know people talk about it, and I know some, just sort of the vague cultural presence of it. But like, the only specific thing I knew was actually the cousin thing, also. Just because it's one of those things where everyone, it's one of those things that I think is like spread around online like pretty early, where people were like, by the way. So yeah, it is interesting to see because go ahead. Yeah, you didn't say anything.
I was gonna say, for me, I had seen like a couple episodes here and there, but mainly I had seen the movies because someone I knew had the movies on VHS, so we would watch them. But yeah, otherwise, I knew of all the, because, planets and stuff. Very easy to remember. There's the inner Senshi, the outer Senshi, but I didn't really know anything like personality-wise about any of the characters particularly until me and Mai watched Sailor Moon Crystal. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Valen, you go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say because, like, I don't think this probably wasn't like the first like magical girl thing, but like it's definitely like the first like one that like everyone knows about.
This is the iconic one,
right?
Yeah.
So it is interesting seeing like so because of that, like a lot of tropes kind of come from this, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting kind of seeing it from that lens. I know that, and like I know the whole thing you were saying about how like Tuxedo Mask does nothing, but to me it was actually funnier than that because he just shows up, does like one thing that like barely does anything, and then leaves, which I thought was funnier than him doing nothing.
Every time he's like, "Goodbye, Sailor Moon, good luck," and it's like, what?
Like I love how he just throws the rose or whatever and like distracts the thing for like 1 second, then he's like, my job is done, I have accomplished something, and it's like, okay.
And he just fucks off for the rest of the episode.
No, it's actually like, it's really hilarious. Like Usagi as a character, like she acts like an 8th grader, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, like from Crystal, I remember when we watched Crystal, I really did not like Usagi, but seeing this version of her, I really like her.
Yeah.
Because she's just a dumb 14-year-old girl, and I can appreciate her now because, like, I'm kind of a crybaby, and, like, I don't really like this, but hey, I'll do my best!
Yeah, and because the whole premise of it is that, of course, she has, like, the powers or whatever, and, like, there's different stuff that comes with that. But so like, and there are. It seems that how I understand it, obviously, again, I've only seen the first 6 episodes, is that like it's very powerful, but she just doesn't know what she's doing, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and I feel like that's kind of because again, like there's how many fucking animes are there where it's like here's like the 15-year-old that saves the universe, and it's just like okay. Which again, I'm not saying that's inherently bad. There's some like really good stuff that is basically that, but I think having it be where it's like, oh yeah, but they actually just kind of suck because they're like 14. It's like, okay, like, so, yeah.
And like I mentioned this at first, where I was like, yeah, we don't really see Mercury or Mars who are in the opening, but I guess in a way it's not a bad thing because you do get to know Usagi a lot better now.
Yeah. You kind of learn with her. You also learn about like family dynamic, her friends in school and stuff. Because I don't really see anyone really talking about her friends in school or her family. Like I forgot that there was even a brother.
I was like, wait, who is the small tiny human?
Oh, we should
Like-
clarify we watched the sub.
Oh yes, we watched the sub
Yeah.
because we figured we were like, okay, we should probably, if we're seriously watching this, we should probably watch
Yeah.
the sub.
And also the names would have been completely different.
Yeah, the names would have been. Yeah.
Oh, what are
Yeah,
they in the dub?
Usagi is Serena.
Okay,
And
I mean,
Ami is Amy. I don't remember what the brother's name was because I don't think I even saw him.
I don't remember who the other.
I don't remember the names of any of the other people, but the names were different because,
This was the time period where they changed all the names
yeah,
because
Yeah.
they thought that everything needed to be Americanized.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was speaking of which too. Actually, I don't. Is that so? This anime came out in 1982, which Valen actually just checked for us.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, wait, because I was thinking about something else I wanted to mention later, but yeah.
Of which it's really interesting seeing like all the technology and stuff like
Mhm.
featured in it, like
Oh yeah.
because it's like you see the tapes, you see like
The CD player.
the CD player, you see like the arcade, also kind of the fashion too.
Yeah.
You see it in the fashion where it's like you can see how it's transitioning from 80s to 90s.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
the color palette.
Like,
too.
especially,
Yeah.
like, the episode with, like, the gym stuff, I'm like, this is 80s. Like,
Yeah.
It was like this is definitely 80s. And then also like the color palette and also the animation, because it's kind of like this, they don't really try to make it like realistic in terms of the coloring and everything.
Yeah.
It kind of has like washes and stuff like that, and I feel like it actually really suits the show in that way
Yeah.
because it's a magical girl thing.
It
So.
also feels more like this is like a manga that came to life
Yeah.
because of the art style too. It's very exaggerated, and I was like, oh, this is actually a very bygone thing in anime now, because I guess now anime is trying to be like, look at how big our budget is. We can animate fluidly. But
mhm.
like back in the 90s and early 2000s, and maybe even the 80s when they made like a couple of anime, they had to rely on exaggeration in order to convey certain things, and I forgot how much I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely, like, well, it also, the animation goes with the writing and characterization as well in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the personalities, especially of Furusagi, are, like, very overdramatic, but, like, that's the point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's, again, like, I don't know, I think like, I could see, this wouldn't work in, like, certain other types of stories, but with, like, this kind
Yeah.
of story and what they're doing, it totally fits, like, totally fine. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think we actually all really enjoyed watching this.
Yeah, should we talk about Crystal?
Valen, I think you wanted, I guess before we move on to Crystal, Valen, you wanted to talk about something also with the time
Oh,
period.
Yeah, well, because I was thinking, like, again, my immediate thought when I'm thinking, like, fuck it, like, when you think of the whole girl transforming to fight evil things or whatever, I'm like, okay, obviously, the old school anime version of that is Sailor Moon, and I'm like, the old school Western version of that was like the original She-Ra. So I was like,
Right.
which was first or whatever, and I'm pretty sure the She-Ra was first because that should be 80s. I think it's 85 actually.
Oh, wow.
But but again, I haven't seen the original like at all. I've seen very few things from it.
I guess now you can try to watch it.
From what I've seen, I don't think I would like it. Because the thing is, a lot of like 80s shows, especially like in the US, were basically just glorified commercials. Like the whole point was like, here's a story that goes along with the action figures that you're supposed to buy, right? And so, again, from the clips and stuff that I've seen, and also just some reviews of certain like specials, like there was a fucking like 80s like He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special that's like terrible. So like, there's stuff like that that's like, but so again, like this is where it's like, this is better than that. No, I think the new She-Ra show's better than this, but like whatever. So, but it's still, and again, this isn't obviously this isn't like a show for me if you want to think like demographically and shit like that, like whatever. But and again, do I say like I love this? No, to be fair, I wouldn't say 6 episodes isn't really enough to determine that anyway. But again, like if we were to watch more, I wouldn't be like, ugh, I'm done. I don't want to see this anymore, you know. So, and I think like what you were saying about the other characters or whatever, and how we basically spent time. I mean, obviously the whole show, like Usagi is going to be the main focus of the whole show, so there's obviously going to be more with her. But I think actually having it focus on her for a while before we get into any other characters, because I looked at Wikipedia and I just basically pulled up the episode summary list and just Control F like the characters to see when they first pop up, and I think it was Mercury shows us in episode 8 and Mars is in episode 10, and we stopped at episode 6. But again, I think like that works in this sense in terms of kind of what they're going for. So I can't say that it's like, oh my god, I need to watch more of the show, but like I'm not against watching more of the show. So I don't know. There's just overall opinion of that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of the gym episode, I think that's the one episode that probably did not age very well.
Yeah, the talking about the whole losing weight thing was not very unpleasant.
Yeah, and then actually, I do kind of this might be kind of random to mention, but like I do kind of appreciate that at least all of like the people that like the direct antagonists of each episode, they're all women.
Yeah,
because I feel like it's super common where it's like, oh look, we have like, because even shows like, oh look, we have a female protagonist, but like every other character is male or something, and it's like, no, actually there are clearly way more females in this than like guys. There's again like there's Tuxedo Mask obviously, and then there's like the villain guy who's kind of like above. I forgot his name.
Jadeite?
Yeah. And then, like, there's a couple...
above him is, like, Queen Barrow.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Woman. And then, obviously, there's, like, the brother and, like, the father and the weird nerdy kid at school. And, like... And those, in terms of characters that, like, show up in multiple episodes, I think that's, like, it for the guys. Yeah. So, and it's kind of, like, it's kind of nice in that sense, where it's, because again, like I was saying, there's something. Oh, here's your show for girls, where it's like there's the main character and like her friend and like one other person is female, and it's like okay, so
Yeah, I do appreciate that how it's like it showcases like more women in the show, like actually, and everything, including the villains, and we'll also. It's only going to grow because all the other protagonists are also female.
Oh yeah, right.
So,
the monsters in this show, they're actually kind of scary.
Yeah, the monsters are pretty terrifying.
The thing for me the most one was actually the last one when like she fucking grew the giant ass nails. I'm like, damn, okay.
That was like, oh, what the fuck?
And she was going to kill the person too.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They keep like in most of the episodes, they're just like, I'm gonna kill you or like die or whatever, and I'm just like,
And then what were they called?
The little weird bunny things.
Oh, start with the CH, but I forgot what they were.
I don't remember.
CH.
They were scary. I did not like them.
Yeah, they were very scary.
Just
I was like, the puppy that they ignored. I was like, that's so sad.
No, actually, that episode was just when her brother's fucking punts Luna. It's like it's out of nowhere.
Poor Luna.
Let's get the shit kicked out of him.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, there's definitely some humor stuff for this that works. Again, like obviously you have to keep in mind this was made in 1992, so there's. And it's not just like, some subjects are like, oh, people wouldn't make fun of this anymore. But like just like the style of the humor, the style of the writing kind of fits in the time or whatever. So if you accept that, which is not hard to accept given what this is, then yeah it's fine with that in that sense at least. So, yeah.
I guess we will go into... Okay, so Sailor Moon Crystal.
Please spill all of the tea.
Oh my god.
So when it first came out, I don't remember when it came out, but when it first came out, we were like, okay, well, this is coming out. We can watch it on, I think, Funimation or something.
Something like that.
It was on a site, so we were like, okay, we'll just watch it. Here, we've never watched like Sailor Moon all the way through. We might as well try it.
And like the thing is that people had kind of advertised Crystal as being more faithful to the manga, because of course back in the 90s and stuff, the anime would have a little bit more liberty taken with it. I have heard a couple of people say that there are some filler episodes in Sailor Moon that are as good as the actual canon content, but there's also filler, some of it which is not great, but we were like, okay, I mean, this is the manga story, so let's try to watch it.
The animation was very weird. Like here, you can actually like. Here it's like you can believe Usagi is in 8th grade.
Yeah.
In Crystal, you can't like Fallon. Wait, can you just search Sailor Moon Crystal? I just want you to see how they rendered.
Yeah, that is definitely. Well, I mean, to be honest, it's kind of just animation thing in general, but it's definitely an anime thing where they're just like, you know, here's this 13-year-old, and you're like,
Yeah.
Cough, cough, Gurren Lagann. I like the show, but like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I've seen worse, but like, yeah.
I feel like the original animation, like the whole, like a lot of people felt like really liked the charm of the original animation and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they also did a thing where in the transformation sequences that we saw, they did that all with like a 3D model kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
In Crystal.
Oh, in Crystal. I was about to say, like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Not in the original.
Yeah, in Crystal it was a CGI render, and it was really strange.
Yeah. But then it also, like, all the exaggerations and stuff, they also stripped away. So it kind of I feel like it took away from Usagi's characters.
That's why at least I didn't like her at all.
Well, even for like the other characters, I feel like we didn't really get to know their personalities and everything.
Yeah, they were super flat.
They seemed very flat, and as people who hadn't really known about it, like hadn't watched the original, I can't, other than like what I know Osmosis was, I don't think I can really tell who they are character-wise.
No.
He's like based off of like this crystal and stuff, and then for that reason, I was just like, do I even want to watch the original?
Yeah.
Like, based off of this? And then it turns out that we weren't the only ones. Like, apparently, it was very, like, Crystal was
not received well.
It was not received very well.
Mm.
So at least there's that. And now watching the original, I'm just like, we should have just watched the original.
Yeah, it's just like, why would anyone try to make a remake when it's just like, just go watch the original one.
Yeah, so like story-wise, it was like a reboot, basically.
Yeah, it's because I guess, I don't know, maybe because I wanted to see how the first 6 episodes here would line up with what we watched Crystal. I think a lot of this was actually filler, but I didn't mind it because we got to know Usagi so well, and I don't hate her anymore.
Yeah. Now I see why a lot of people like take memes from the show too.
Yeah, it's also just hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like actually comedic, while Crystal I think was going more for a dramatic route.
It was, and then the funny thing about it is I think one of the season 2 openings ripped off like completely one of the openings from Higurashi.
Yeah. I remember that. You were like, wait a minute, this seems very familiar.
I was like, I had a cow. It was a lot.
So yeah, if you're debating between Crystal and the original, just watch the original.
Yeah, please, just fuck Crystal. Watch this one instead.
Yeah, I had a point. I forgot what it was. Oh, about filler. Like, yeah, because like to me, a definition of a filler episode is something that doesn't like advance an overall plot, and by that definition, a lot of like shows are mostly filler, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, because again, as you said, that if the whole point would be to either expand on some uncharacterization, or basically maybe there's an interesting concept or idea that doesn't really fit in the overall narrative, but you're like, I'm going to explore this narratively and also how these characters work through that. And in that case, that can work really well. Yeah, if you just basically, sit on your ass and have characters just go through the motions and do shit over and over for like no reason, then yeah, it's not that's not good. But and I could see that, like, this is the kind of show where that could be the case, where you could have episodes where it's just like she's kind of doing the same thing over and over. I think in this case, especially because it's the first few episodes, it still it works, because again, we're still trying to figure out her characterization, but also what she can do and all that kind of stuff. So even though, like, are these like the most interesting plots of all time? No, but like it works with what they're doing for an early sort of part, to a show, especially before you have more characters going on. So yeah, it works in that sense.
I think it also helps because we got to see, like, the pen got to have its own episode.
Yeah.
Like, one of her powers also got to have its own episode, like the Stardust move and stuff. So it's like, in that way you can kind of appreciate those moves, while I feel like if it was just, because in Crystal, I don't think there were any fillers.
No.
And for that reason,
it did feel very info dumpy, because they had to condense everything into those 13 episodes of season 1. But here it's like, oh yeah, we'll just slowly introduce you to this is the pen, you can become like a hot teacher or something.
I like what apparently her idea of like a adult music star looks like. I'm just like,
yeah, it was so funny.
I'm like, sure.
The green hair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there you go, I guess.
I don't think you really needed a recommendation, but here's our recommendation.
Yeah. If you're interested in it, watch the original one. Crystal does not exist.
That said, Balan.
Yes.
What are you going to replace Shazam with?
Yes. Well, so I kind of realized this was funny because, if you remember, do you remember what I replaced with Shazam?
Oh God!
It was like a year ago, so I wouldn't expect you to necessarily.
No, I don't remember.
Well, it was Doctor Strange, and now I'm like, hey,
the sequel.
Yeah, so I'm replacing it with Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. That was not planned. I just sort of had the idea of like, hey, this film came out. I watched it. I liked it a decent amount, and I think you guys should like it too. I will say there are definitely, I have seen complaints about this movie. I think some of them are decently valid. I think some complaints about this movie are stupid and are not valid at all.
Okay.
So I'm not the person who's like, this film's amazing and everything's perfect. No, I think there are some legitimate criticisms, but there are also a lot of stupid, dumbass criticisms that people have about this movie. So, and I'm just going to be curious to see how you think about certain stuff, because there is interesting things to be had. So.
Okay.
All right.
When we eventually watch this and get to it on the list in like 2025, but whatever.
We're kind of following a trend here.
It looks like it, yes.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, by the time we probably watch Doctor Strange, the Shazam sequel will be out too, so I can
by default, you must replace it with the Shazam
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not there yet. But anyway,
that's only if the Shazam sequel is good too.
That's true.
Is a good point.
Yeah, I have no. I honestly, is there even a trailer? I have no fucking clue. Anyway, what are we actually going to be watching? This next time, we are going to be watching.
Oh, more anime.
More anime, actually. We're skipping ahead about 30 years.
Yep,
Because,
Jose the
we're-
Tiger and the Fish. I have never heard of this before, so I don't know anything.
I had heard of this, and then we saw an AMV of this using like some of the scenes from this, which it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I can't even say much about what the plot really is because apparently the movie is different from the previous. This animated movie is different from a previous movie adaptation, which is also different from the original short story or novel. So basically, we're gonna find out what it is.
Okay. We're all on the
Okay.
same page here.
We're all gonna be on the same page here. No one really knows what's happening. All I can say is that the main girl is in a wheelchair,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and the guy is like, the main guy is like hanging out with her and stuff.
Okay.
That's basically all I have gleaned from the AMV as well as from what I've read. So
So
that's a
basically,
basic synopsis.
this could be really cute or really sad.
Yes.
Okay. Also, Tara, you know what this means?
What?
Your movies are not like the last part of the set this time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
true! This makes me so happy.
The curse has been broken this year.
Yay! Finally. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
only. I'm pretty sure. I think in all the other sets, weren't you like? No, I think one of this. I think like the second set we did, you were like in the middle. I think
Yeah.
I've
But
never
the
been,
others were all,
near
like,
front,
the others
though.
were all like last.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Finally.
finally,
Hopefully
you did
this-
it.
I did it. I feel so accomplished. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, well that's next week, hopefully.
Yep.
We'll see. Our
Hopefully.
schedules might get weird, so well, I don't know, but yeah, we'll try.
We'll figure it out. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.